Ladies and gentlemen, the Amazon is still ablaze. I was looking at several different publications that came out today. This one came out in the Washington Post, October 7th, 2019. I looked at one in Bolivia, and Bolivia was saying 2 million animals are dead. 2 million animals. And you got all of these trees and plants and all types of vegetation that was up in there that's completely gone. And this is not an accident. This is not an accident. They're saying 140,000 acres of the Amazon is gone. And there have been nearly 100,000 fires just this year alone. See, what happened was, y'all know what, a lot of times I'll do stories on farming because at one point in time, China was buying soybeans and corn from the US. In fact, they were the biggest suppliers to China. And then when Trump kicked up the trade war, they stopped buying from the US and they are buying a lot of it from Brazil now. So these farmers want more land to grow the soybean and be able to offer even bigger crops to China. So they don't care about this rainforest. They'll burn the whole damn thing down because to them, the more land they can plant on, the more profit they can make selling to China. So they don't care about this. They're going to let it go. So I think some people think because this might have disappeared from the news briefly, that maybe it's still not happening. It's still happening. Very much. And NASA can see this fire on satellite just like they could see it back in August. Nothing has changed. This fire is due to 100% greed. And they are willing to kill the whole thing, trees, plants, and animals and all, to turn a profit. I'm going to go ahead and play this, the fact checker video from the Washington Post. See if I can get this to work. Well, after the commercial, y'all.
Fires tearing through central Brazil and Rainforest region, destroying thousands of miles of forest.
The Amazon rainforest continues to burn.
The record number of fires ravaging the rainforest has sparked international concern.
Siamo tutti preoccupati per I vasti incendi che si sono sviluppati in Amazzonia.
As the Amazon burns, it seems like everyone is in search of someone to blame.
I am under the impression that it could have been set by the NGOs because they had asked for money.
Nós não queremos nos calar diante de uma política pautada na indiferença.
The Amazon, you opened with it. And in reality, that's directly related to trade.
But who or what is responsible? Fires in the Amazon occur every year, but natural ones are extremely rare. It's the rainforest, after all. They're normally started by people clearing land for farming, ranching, mining, and infrastructure, which isn't unique to the Amazon. We see managed burns throughout the world. And often, where you see deforestation, you see fire. What fluctuates is how many fires.
2019 has more fire activity than we've seen any year since 2010, up until this point in the dry season. It's not a record year, but it is remarkable. Remarkable because it's a departure from the successes that Brazil in particular had achieved in terms of reducing deforestation rates and minimizing the threat of fires.
Deforestation and land management fires are set every year during the dry season, from August through October. And like many natural resources, the Amazon is caught in a tug of war between economic growth and environmental protections. And in that war, politics almost always comes into play. About 60% of the Amazon lies within Brazil. That means environmental laws have fluctuated as the Brazilian economy, pressures from the international community, and administrations have changed.
In 2004, Brazilian government, then under former President Lula, launched the National Action Plan to deal with deforestation. In 2004 to about 2014, it was a massive success. It was a real reduction in the rates of deforestation. 2015 and in 2016, Brazil had a very deep recession. So in 2015, we started to see deforestation rates rise again. And they continued to rise through 2016 and 2017. 2018, the situation kind of died down a bit, but then came the electoral campaign.
Brazil's right-wing populist candidate, sometimes likened to Donald Trump, winning the presidency Sunday night in that country's most polarizing election in decades.
Vamos usar as riquezas que Deus nos deu para o bem-estar da nossa população.
His criticism has emboldened loggers and ranchers seeking to profit from deforestation.
This is part of a trend, this increasing forest loss. Now we have a new government in there that is overtly pro expansion and use of the Amazon forest for development.
So fires in the Amazon are nothing new. But this year has raised alarms, and there have been all kinds of theories to explain what's going on. Some have pointed to the weather, but these fires look different than what we would see if climate were the main factor.
What we've seen so far are fires that are in the locations. We expect to see fires for deforestation, and they're early in the dry season, which tends to be more motivated by economic pressures rather than climate conditions.
Bolsonaro said it could have been the NGOs.
I am under the impression that it could have been set by the NGOs because they had asked for money. What was their intention? To bring about problems for Brazil.
We spoke with Brazilian fact checkers who told us there's no basis for his claim.
First, he said that the NGOs were behind the fires. Then he said that maybe it was the farmers. And then he changed his version again. So we tried to point out these contradictions and the fact that he hadn't showed any evidence to support this claim.
Others have suggested fluctuations in international trade.
The fact that U.S. farmers can sell soybeans to China has created an opportunity for Brazil to sell soybeans to China. And as a result, farmers are tearing down, the Amazon to grow soybeans.
With the help of the University of Maryland, we compared where crops, including soybeans, are planted to the location of this year's deforestation fires, and they don't line up.
If you're a big soy producer, there's so much intensification around the larger agro-industrial farms that fire's not a thing, really. So when you look at those maps where the crops are and where the fire is very removed along the frontier with the Amazon, clearly related to some other land use, in this case, likely cattle ranching expansion. Most of the crop expansion is happening on the Cerrado. It's not happening in the Amazon.
That doesn't mean that we can say in complete confidence that increased interest in Brazilian soybeans hasn't inspired some smaller actors to clear more land.
E nesse outro grupo, chamado Grupo Sertão, é que reuniram-se as pessoas que estavam a favor de fazer tiro do fogo.
On August 5th, a Brazilian newspaper reported an organized day of burning called Fire Day, scheduled for August 10th.
Que, segundo eles, era para apoiar as ideias do presidente da República, estava desmontando o esquema de fiscalização do IBAMA e dizendo que ninguém ia multar mais de maneira arbitrária, que
IBAMA is the Brazilian Environmental Protection Agency that is tasked with stopping deforestation fires in the Amazon. A federal prosecutor reported that IBAMA was ordered to stop these fires, but the state police refused its support.
Então essa queimada foi criminosa.
This is the region of Novo Progresso where much of that coordinated fire activity was scheduled for August 10th. This is an area that does show an increase in fire activity on that day and then continuing afterwards. Across the southern Amazon, that actually is the start of increased regional fire activity.
The thing is, this is one tiny corner of the Amazon, and the Amazon is huge. But it does give us a clue to what's happening. The timing of these fires suggests that they were started by people who wanted to clear as much land as quickly as possible. This kind of uptick happens when there's less regulation and can be brought on by an economic downturn or changes to government policy. Bolsonaro's ambivalence towards environmental protections may not have directly lit the first match, but it was a nod of approval to those who did.
Okay, they're not going to go after the people that did this. Let me just make it clear. You're not hearing about any arrest. You're not hearing about people are in trouble or they're going to be charged. You're not hearing nothing. You're just hearing that they know it's burning. It is a problem. They think as NGOs, the president think as NGOs, and that's about it. He's not doing nothing about it. And see, that's been the biggest complaint about this president. They said he doesn't care. You know, he doesn't care. That's been the biggest complaint. And he's not going to care. So as of 2019, they had 96,988, practically 100,000 fires. And we're not even at the end of the year. So this chart uses data available on October 4th, 2019. So it's pretty recent. Total fires detected in the Amazon 2000 to 2019. Wow. So I wouldn't hold my breath on waiting for them to make any changes. That Bolsonaro, the president, he think it's a good thing for the Amazon to be cleared out. So you can expect more fires, more damage. It doesn't matter about the protests going on. The farmers want to make a profit, and that is going to take precedence over what anybody else feels. You know, the U.S. farmers, they are struggling because they lost the work that the Brazilian farmers are now doing, and that is filling their orders of soybeans and corn for China. So, of course, they want bigger crops to sell. And that's the bottom line. But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.